I used to work as a custodian at a middle school for almost 5 years, typically covering the overnight shift. My hours would start at 10 p.m., and I would leave just before the buses began arriving at dawn. Initially, I found the job surprisingly enjoyable. I didn't have to deal with kids tearing through the hallways or teachers complaining, and there was hardly anyone around. The solitude didn't bother me. I actually liked being left alone to focus on my tasks. Night compared to the busy atmosphere of the day. It wasn't just quiet, it felt lifeless. The building seemed to breathe, creaking and groaning in unsettling ways. Being the only person there meant even minor noises could put you on edge. Occasionally, I'd hear a locker spring open unexpectedly or the pipes knock within the walls, triggering my imagination to interpret those sounds as footsteps. While I eventually learned to brush off most of it, there was one part of the school I could never quite get accustomed to: the basement. Broken pieces of furniture. The air there always carried a damp, musty smell, and many of the fluorescent lights flickered or didn't work at all, making a flashlight almost essential for navigating. When I first started working, an older custodian warned me to steer clear of the basement unless it was absolutely necessary. He even joked that the place was haunted. I laughed it off at the time, but couldn't ignore how uneasy I felt whenever I ended up down there. Compared to the bright hallways upstairs, stepping into the basement felt like transitioning into another world, a colder, darker one. There were nights when just passing the door leading down there sent shivers down my spine. Luckily, for most of my shifts, I didn't need to venture into that part of the building, so I avoided it whenever I could. One night about 2 years into the job, I glanced at my list of tasks taped to my cart and groaned. It included fetching folding chairs for an upcoming event. Unfortunately, those chairs were kept in the basement. I caught myself lingering by the basement stairwell door longer than usual, debating if I could ask my supervisor to delay the task until morning. However, not wanting to appear lazy, I grabbed my flashlight and pushed open the heavy door. The stairwell amplified every step I took with an echo that made my boots sound obnoxiously loud. At the bottom, I pressed the light switch, but only a few overhead fixtures flickered to life, leaving much of the hallway cloaked in shadow. The damp smell of wet cement hung in the air as I navigated the space with my flashlight. The chairs were supposed to be stored in the second room on the left. The first room I passed was jam-packed with desks stacked perilously high. As I reached for the handle of the second door, a rusted contraption, it let out a deafening screech like nails scratching a chalkboard. Once inside, the storage room smelled faintly of dust and aged wood polish. The folding chairs were stacked unevenly along one wall, and I bent down to grab as many as I could carry in one trip. As I clutched 4 of them in my arms, I suddenly froze. From somewhere in that dark hallway outside, a sound reached me, a soft dragging noise, like someone sliding their shoe across the floor at an agonizingly slow pace. My breath caught as I stopped moving altogether. Bent over with chairs still in hand, I strained every sense to listen. Then silence enveloped me again.